When they got there, Obodo refused to give them any money, saying that Sochi can die for all he cares, as she was not his daughter in the first place. Somto could not believe her ears as tears gushed down her eyes. She and her mother returned home sad, and in that moment, Somto made up her mind never to rely on her father again in her life. Once upon a time, there lived twin sisters named Somto and Sochi who lived with their parents in a very small village. Their father Obodo hated them so much and never spared any opportunity to show them how much he despised them. Many years ago, Obodo accused his wife of having an affair with his only brother, and this created resentment in his heart for his wife as well as their twin daughters who he believed did not belong to him. What had happened was that on several occasions over the years, Obodo had been so violent towards his wife, beating her to stupor at every given opportunity. His younger brother Ahanna did not like the way his brother maltreated his wife, so one morning, whilst Obodo was beating up his wife, his brother Ahanna stepped in to challenge him. This resulted in a very serious fight where Ahanna beat up his elder brother, not minding their age difference. Obodo could not believe that his younger brother would beat him up because of his wife, and this angered him greatly as he pushed his wife out of his hut to go live with his brother, concluding within his heart that his brother was having an affair with his wife. He tabled the matter before the village elders, who were not convinced that his brother Ahanna was having anything to do with his wife. Obodo was greatly angered by this, and the resentment in his heart towards his wife and brother grew even more. For years, Obodo did not care about his wife and children. He would go out early in the morning and spend all his money drinking alcohol, not caring about the welfare of his wife and daughters who had nothing to eat. One day, the twins approached their father to complain about how badly he had been treating them, and their father Obodo chased them away from his presence, calling them children of a wayward woman. This broke the twins' heart, as they could not believe how much their father hated them. Not long afterwards, Obodo got married to a second wife and disowned his twin daughters. His brother Ahanna, on seeing that Obodo had disowned his twin daughters and married a second woman, took it upon himself to look after the twins and their mother. This caused a lot of problems between Obodo and his brother, who had to move to a faraway village with the twins and their mother for their safety. Years passed, and the twins grew up without the love of their father. Their father, on the other hand, became so wealthy from his business and showered his second wife and her children with all the love he had in his heart. One day, Sochi and Somto were returning home from the farm when a huge tree fell and hit Sochi on her head. She slumped and fell unconscious, and Somto screamed in confusion as she did not know what to do. She rushed her twin sister to the nearby healer, who requested for some expensive herbs required to heal Sochi, but Somto and her mother had no money to purchase the herbs. Somto then suggested to her mother that they visit her father Obodo to beg for some money, but when they got there, Obodo refused to give them any money, saying that Sochi can die for all he cares, as she was not his daughter in the first place. Somto could not believe her ears as tears gushed down her eyes. She and her mother returned home sad, and in that moment, Somto made up her mind never to rely on her father again in her life. Ahanna, their father's brother, did all he could to raise the money, including selling all his valuables, but the money he realized was still not enough to cover Sochi's treatment. Sochi remained at the healer's hut, and her sister Somto was unsure of her fate. She walked around the village, weeping, and a poor beggar approached her to ask for help. The beggar narrated that he had not eaten in days, and Somto, despite all she was going through at the moment, gave the beggar the little food that she had left at home, and the beggar was so grateful to her. However, before the beggar left her hut, he gave her some small mysterious seeds and told her to plant the seeds with love and care, and that it will bring her unexpected blessings in return. Somto, without hesitation, planted the seeds and nurtured it with love. The next morning, she woke up to see a very beautiful tree and was amazed at how fast the tree grew. As she was admiring the tree, her mother rushed to inform her that her twin sister was dying. Sad and confused, Somto grabbed a branch from the tree and rushed to the healer's hut. By the time she arrived at the healer's hut, her sister was already dead. Devastated at the sight of her sister's lifeless body, Somto wept aloud as she began to strike her sister's body with the branch from the mysterious tree. She did this over and over and over, but still nothing happened. Sad and heartbroken, Somto ran out of the healer's hut screaming in pain. She could not imagine her life without her twin sister and wished she could do something about it. As she was weeping, she felt a tap on her shoulder. Lo and behold, Somto saw her twin sister standing right behind her. Filled with shock, she jumped up in jubilation as she hugged her twin sister tightly. As they reunited, Sochi explained to her sister Somto that the mysterious tree branch had magical healing powers, and Somto unknowingly used its powers to bring her back to life. Everyone was so excited at the miraculous healing of Sochi, especially her twin sister Somto, who could not imagine a life without her own twin sister. A few days later, the twins were home when a group of men knocked on their door, requesting to know who planted the mysterious tree beside their hut. Somto was filled with fear as she had no idea why the men were searching for her. She summoned the courage and stepped forward, admitting to planting the tree, and the strange men revealed to her that her presence was needed at the king's palace. Somto began to fidget as she followed the men to the king's palace. To her greatest surprise, she saw the beggar who gave her the magical seeds standing in the palace. He was the prince of the village, and Somto could not believe her eyes. What had happened was that the prince was set to choose a bride, and the gods ordered that he disguised himself as a beggar, and that the woman he would choose as his bride would be the woman who would not only be kind to him, but also accept the seeds and plant it in front of her hut. All the other women the prince approached were so unkind to him because they believed he was a poor beggar. Only Somto entertained the beggar, despite all she was going through at that time. Somto did not only give the beggar food, but she also planted the seeds given to her by the beggar as the gods had predicted. The prince in that instant declared that Somto was the woman chosen by the gods to be his bride and the next queen of the village. The entire village was in awe as they could not believe how Somto was elevated to such a prestigious position. News of this spread around the village, reaching the ears of Obodo, who could not believe how fate had smiled upon his twin daughters. Obodo was however going through a lot as he found out that his second wife never loved him but was only with him because of his money. Even the children she claimed were his were the children of her age-long lover, who she was still seeing even after marrying Obodo. Obodo was so heartbroken by the revelation, as he could not believe that all these years he had been showering another man's children with love whilst neglecting his own children. Obodo, now confronted with the truth, was devastated by the realization of the love he had lost and the pain he had caused to his own family. Filled with remorse, Obodo visited his daughters to ask for their forgiveness. He also apologized to his wife and brother for accusing them falsely and thanked his brother Ahanna for standing in the gap and ensuring the safety of his twin daughters. The twins, though hesitant at first, found it in their hearts to forgive their father. They understood that people could change and embraced the opportunity for reconciliation. That was how Somto ended up marrying the prince of the village, making her the next queen. Her twin sister Sochi later got married to a very wealthy man, and they all lived happily ever after. The twins, once abandoned and scorned, were now at the center of attention in the village. The mysterious tree, which had played a huge role in their journey, continued to grow and flourish, symbolizing the strength of love and the potential for transformation. The lesson to be learned from this story is that we should learn to be of help to people without expecting anything in return. A single act of kindness can transform one's life, so learn to be kind always, even when you don't feel like it. Also, never joke with family bonds, because whenever the chips are down and everyone leaves, family will still be there to support and comfort you. I hope you enjoyed the story.
Like, subscribe and leave a comment. It helps us grow our channel. I'll see you in our next story. Bye.